Alarms scream through my ears before my eyes even open. Red light floods the control room. My hands move before my mind catches up, gripping the edge of the console as the entire ship shudders under a wave of enemy fire. This is not a drill. This is the moment I always feared and always trained for. My name is Daniel Whitfield, and 3 years ago, I was handed a piece of junk the galaxy had thrown away. Today, that junk is the only thing standing between my planet and destruction. Let me take you back to where this started. The coalition of alien worlds called us new. They called us small. They called us a species that had barely learned to walk among the stars. When Earth was finally allowed to join their Grand Council, they did not offer us technology, trade routes, or knowledge. They offered us a gift wrapped in mockery. A broken warship, stripped of its best parts, floating dead in orbit like a carcass left for scavengers. I remember standing in the shuttle bay, looking out at the wreck through the viewport. Its hull was scarred, half its plating torn away, wires hanging out like open wounds. The alien delegate, a tall being named Vex Orin, smiled as he handed over the data files. He said humanity should be grateful. He said this ship was more advanced than anything we could ever build ourselves. He said it with a tone that made it clear he expected us to fail. I was young then, an engineer fresh out of the academy, assigned to the recovery team almost as an afterthought. Nobody believed this project would matter. Nobody believed we would matter. But when my team and I stepped inside that ship for the first time, something changed in me. The corridors were dark and silent, filled with the smell of burnt metal and old coolant. Half the systems were dead. Entire sections had been gutted, as if the previous owners could not be bothered to remove everything properly. They assumed we would never understand what we were looking at. They were wrong. My colleague, Olivia Marsh, was the one who found it first. Buried behind a collapsed wall panel, we discovered a fragment of an experimental reactor core. It was unstable, dangerous, and far beyond anything humans had built before. Most engineers would have thrown it into a scrap furnace. Olivia looked at me and said only one thing: "We can make this work." That single sentence became the heartbeat of everything that followed. We did not have unlimited funding. We did not have the support of world governments who still doubted whether this ship was worth saving. Every day was a fight against skepticism, against tight budgets, against tired bodies working through the night. But slowly, piece by piece, the ship began to breathe again. We replaced broken alloys with new blends forged from Earth metals, mixed with alien compounds we reverse-engineered through trial and failure. We built new wiring systems inspired by our own submarines and aircraft, systems built for redundancy, because humans have always known that one point of failure can mean the end of everything. Where the aliens designed simple, single-layered shields, we built stacked defenses, layer after layer, each one able to compensate if another failed. Where their weapons fired in predictable patterns, we designed adaptive targeting systems that learned and adjusted in real time, something our own scientists pulled from decades of studying human reflexes and instincts. Every setback taught us something. Every failed test brought us closer to success. I remember the night the ship's new heart, the modified reactor core, powered on for the first time. The entire control room held its breath. For a moment, nothing happened. Then a low hum spread through the hull, growing stronger, steadier, until the lights flickered on, one by one, like stars waking up in the dark. Olivia looked at me, eyes wide with something between fear and joy. "It's alive," she whispered. We named the ship Horizon Ember, a name chosen by the very team who rebuilt her from nothing. The first test flight was supposed to be simple, a short journey beyond the moon and back. Instead, Horizon Ember exceeded every expectation. Her speed outpaced coalition benchmarks. Her shields absorbed impacts that should have crippled a ship her size. Her weapons, still restrained during testing, hummed with power that made even our own instruments struggle to measure. Word spread quickly. The coalition sent observers to check on what they still called our charity project. I watched their expressions shift from amusement to confusion, then to something they tried hard to hide: concern. Vex Orin visited again, this time with a colder smile. He said our results were likely exaggerated. He said human instruments were probably faulty. He said many things that night, none of which matched the truth sitting in front of him. But truth has a way of revealing itself when it matters most. 6 months later, a coalition trade route came under attack. Pirates, operating in the shadow zones between systems, targeted a convoy of supply ships heading toward Earth's newly established outpost. The coalition, stretched thin across their own territories, could not send immediate support. They expected Earth to wait patiently for assistance, just as we always had before. Instead, I made the hardest decision of my life. I asked for command of Horizon Ember, and I asked to answer the distress call ourselves. The Council hesitated. Some believed we were not ready. Others believed this was exactly the moment to prove otherwise. In the end, they gave me permission, along with a warning that failure would confirm every doubt the galaxy held about us. I gathered my crew that night. Olivia stood at my side, along with our tactical officer, Grace Ellison, and our systems specialist, Nathaniel Pierce. None of us had faced real combat before. All of us understood what was at stake. As we approached the shadow zone, static crackled across our communications. Distress signals grew louder, more desperate. Through the viewport, I saw the convoy ships, small and vulnerable, surrounded by pirate vessels closing in like wolves circling wounded prey. My hands trembled for only a second, then training took over. I gave the order to engage. Horizon Ember moved faster than anything the pirates expected. Our adaptive shields absorbed the first wave of impacts without faltering. Grace directed our defensive systems with precision, calling out shifting patterns as the enemy adjusted their attacks, but our ship adjusted faster. Nathaniel monitored the reactor core, keeping it steady even as we pushed it beyond recommended limits. Olivia coordinated repairs in real time, patching minor damage before it could grow into anything serious. I watched the pirate formation begin to break apart under the pressure of our unexpected strength. Their weapons, designed to overpower slower coalition ships, could not keep pace with our maneuvering. Where they expected an easy target, they found a ship that refused to slow down, refused to break, refused to give in. Within minutes, the convoy ships began to escape toward safety. The remaining pirate vessels, realizing they faced something far different from what they anticipated, retreated into the shadows from which they came. Silence returned to the control room, broken only by the sound of steady breathing and quiet relief. "We did it," Grace said, her voice trembling with disbelief. I looked around at my crew, exhausted but alive, victorious but humbled by how close things had felt in those tense moments. News of the rescue spread across the galaxy within days. The same coalition members who once mocked our broken gift now sent messages requesting details about our ship's design. Engineers who had dismissed human capability began asking for collaboration. Diplomats who once spoke to us with condescension adjusted their tone into something closer to respect. Vex Orin sent a message of his own, brief and carefully worded. He congratulated us on our success, though I could sense the discomfort behind his polite words. The gift meant to keep us small had instead become the foundation of something the galaxy could no longer ignore. I stood in the observation deck that night, looking out at the stars stretching endlessly before us. Horizon Ember hummed quietly beneath my feet, steady and strong, carrying the fingerprints of every engineer, every sleepless night, every moment of doubt turned into determination. We were never meant to succeed with what they gave us. They believed a broken ship would keep us dependent, keep us small, keep us grateful for scraps. Instead, we saw an opportunity where they saw waste. We built something new from what they considered worthless. Humanity has always found strength in adversity. We do not wait for perfect conditions. We do not require the best tools to build the best results. Give us broken pieces, and we will forge them into something greater than anyone believed possible. As I looked out at the vast darkness of space, I realized this was only the beginning. Other ships would follow, built with lessons learned from Horizon Ember. Other engineers would push boundaries once thought impossible. Other crews would prove, again and again, that Earth was no longer the newcomer to be dismissed or underestimated. The galaxy had given us their broken warship, expecting failure. Instead, we built the ship they now feared most. And as new stars came into view through the viewport, I knew our story was far from over. We were only getting started.